Welcome inside Studio 12. Another edition of the Red Zone is how we begin on this edition. Connor McQueen is back with us, Aggie quarterback. He and this program getting ready for the Texas Bowl on the night of December 28th, NRG Stadium. The Aggies will take on Kansas State. It will wrap up the 2016 season. And every time we talk to you, it just gets a little bit closer to that final game. Are we starting to think about this and shed some tears now? I mean, it's getting ever so close. One last time in the maroon and white, man.
No tears, just ready to get down there, ready to get going,
I want you to be emotional by now.
I think there will be some emotions come game day, but, tend to dial that back a little bit throughout preparation. But I think it will inevitably come.
You ought to run out on the field at NRG Stadium like you did at Kyle for the LSU game with the thank you, Aggie, with the towel.
Oh, yeah, just thank you, NRG.
Yeah. Well, Houston's your hometown, so I mean, thank you, Houston. There you go.
Just give a big shout-out to H-Town.
All right, as always, we'll let you do the introduction, the honored and esteemed guest in the Red Zone this afternoon.
None other than Coach B.J. Denker.
That's right.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, he actually has been one of the most persistent guest, or trying to be a prospective guest.
You're not supposed to tell him that.
He's just been nagging me all
BJ,
season.
That's everybody. Everybody's been trying to be a part of this.
But
thing,
he's been patient.
I was just questioning some of the other guests previous to me. I thought maybe it'd be
storm.
higher up on the totem pole, but apparently not.
You just got to wait for the right time. I said timing's got to be right.
Yep.
And the moment wasn't right, but now it is. So
and the holiday editions are big. So you got one of the bigger episodes.
Yeah, he said it was a late birthday present, so I appreciate that.
When was the birthday?
14th of December.
14th.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank
and
you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
All
you.
of it rolled into one.
Yes.
And, he's being an ex-quarterback at Arizona. The Wildcats did take down the Aggies in basketball.
We did.
This past weekend.
We did. I wasn't going to bring that up.
It's been a phenomenal week for him. I mean, I just decided, might as well just go ahead and make the whole year then.
Yeah.
You know how they
bring
say,
him on the Red Zone.
You know, the Aggies never get beat. They just run out of time. Well, basketball, we just had a comeback going. We just needed a few more seconds.
I was talking a little smack in the office, and it almost came back to bite me, but we pulled it off in the end. But I'm back to being an Aggie again, so.
That's right. Business at hand.
Yes,
bowl
sir.
game against Kansas State, the Texas Bowl. Connor mentioned it, BJ. Your past Arizona quarterback played under Rich Rodriguez. Just a little bit about you, your upbringing. Did you grow up in Arizona?
No, I'm from Los Angeles, Redondo Beach area, near the beach, and I.
Must be nice.
That's tough.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad place.
It's not in the 30s there right now, is it?
No, it's mid-70s.
It's no Galveston, though. It's no Galveston Beach.
That's Connor's beach
that.
town, Galveston, Texas, right there.
Yeah, you probably get away with a little bit more in Galveston than you can in Redondo. But yeah, and I went to University of Arizona where I played quarterback there in the Rich Rod and coached there for a season after I finished. And luckily enough, I got to meet Kevin Sumlin through Rich Rod. They're friends from a long time. And got to be a part of the staff here. And I'm loving it ever since. It's my second season, so it's awesome.
Is there a human being Kevin Sumlin doesn't know? I mean, every time this guy, he's a friend. This guy, he is.
I mean, that's what happens whenever you're a big time coach and you've been doing it for a while. You get to meet. I mean, they have coaches conferences all over the country, and coaches get to they build relationships, and it's not something that you meet a guy once and you kind of just forget him. Just because, you meet guys, and BJ can talk about it, just the coaching conferences and everything, and you kind of maintain that relationship. You watch them coach, and you watch their games because, you you have a friend coaching on the other side there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this business is all about relationships, so and that's how I think you become successful and, learn through stuff like that. So he knows a lot of people, and I'm lucky he knew Rich Rod, so.
What bowl game experiences did you have at Arizona as a player?
My junior year, we went to the New Mexico Bowl, and that was the one where I don't know if it was a long time, 2012, but it's where we came back from down 21 in the fourth quarter and ended up winning 49-48, which was a crazy little. The New Mexico Bowl is always crazy, apparently. This past season right here a couple of days ago it was almost a comeback win. And then I played in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport against Boston College my senior year and got the victory there too. So
good deal.
Yeah, so
And I do have to ask you, was there a little extra emotion the last time the Aggies played in NRG Stadium?
Playing Arizona State.
That's Arizona State,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it was a lot of talking about my first game ever coaching as a coach at Texas A&M, and we get to play Arizona State. So I had all the Aggies wanting us to win, and I had all my Arizona fans wanting us to beat Arizona State. It was a big deal, and I'm glad we got the victory.
Yeah, and that was him and I had talked about it, and all the stuff they used to say at Arizona about Arizona State and fear no fork and
yeah, I brought back
forks
some of
down. So I remember I took the picture of I was eating my breakfast and it was a little difficult, but I used I didn't use a fork all day.
Yeah, I was like,
and I took a picture of it and it got put all over Bleacher Report and everything.
I
Kind of took
think
off.
I remember that now. Yeah,
And I was getting hate tweets from Arizona State fans for talking about. I bet that BJ Denker put you up to that, and just talking trash, saying that you're just a holder. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm also a backup quarterback, so.
And the one thing
you
weren't
so they're wrong
that day was a fork. Yeah.
Yes, no forks.
In your head that day, were you screaming a little bit of bear down?
Oh, it was post game. Once we won, I said, whether it's I'm in Texas or I'm in Arizona, beating Arizona State feels good no matter what. So I got some love for that, which was good victory.
And now you guys prep for another game at NRG Stadium, the Texas Bowl. And how much have you looked at Kansas State yet? Because I know bowl practice is early. It's kind of about development of young players. You can use it as a little bit extra to spring ball, but then there's a transition to the opponent you will play. Have you gotten to see a lot of the Kansas State defense in that quarterback room for both of you?
We have. We started on Kansas State on Saturday, and then really started watching their tape and dissecting some of the things. It's just nice. It's kind of like the first game of the season where you get, multiple weeks to really get into the game plan, so you can kind of take it step by step, so you don't have to just unload it all in 1 or 2 days like we usually do throughout the succession of a season. So we're just putting in bits and pieces of the game plan right now, and we have quite a bit of time to watch the tape. So just trying to slowly but surely get ready for the bowl game.
Are they a little bit different than most Big 12 teams? Because it's not so much sling it around with Kansas State, BJ, but you guys are looking more at the defense, obviously, and it's not like they're out there just to trying to defend the pass all day. They can stop the run, and even on offense, they can run it a little bit.
Yeah, they're the number one defense in the Big 12, and they're kind of built. They have the spread offenses in the Big 12, and but they're thick, and they got a lot of JC guys, a lot of older guys, a lot of bigger guys, and they're a 5-man, 6-man box team, and they're going to stop the run. They're very basic, but they're very disciplined, and that's what Coach Snyder is known for. So it's going to be a good test. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of big plays because they're a bend don't break type of defense, but they're consistent in what they do and they're good at what they do.
Yeah, and I've kind of thought that about our defense this year. What they've done in the red zone has been so impressive. I think we looked up at one point, I think it was before the LSU game, that it was either 14 or 15 times an opponent had gotten into the red zone on us while scoring 0 points in that trip, either turned them over on downs or missed a field goal. And that led the nation for the Aggies. So it may be a little bit of both ends there. Does that mean offensively what you do in the red zone could get compounded in this game?
I think so, and especially in big games. You say, you can't win big games kicking field goals usually. You got to convert those into touchdowns, and usually in big games where they end up being pretty close, it's the teams that can get that one extra touchdown rather than kicking the field goal that'll end up winning a lot of times.
Texas A&M gets ready for Kansas State. We got the red zone with us, Connor McQueen, BJ Denker, the Aggies and Wildcats on December 28th. And I did want to ask, we've asked Connor this quite a bit on the show, but you get to see Noel Mazzoni on a first-hand basis quite often. And Connor brought him to the red zone one time. I think Noel was a little confused. He thought, one, it was a phone-in, but that wasn't the case.
Correct.
When he arrived, he thought this was like in Connor's garage somewhere.
Some rinky-dink.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a little nicer than a garage.
It's nice.
There's no windows, but there's a little nicer.
See, I've been around Connor for a year, so I know what kind of big-time guy he is. This is his first experience, so he didn't know.
He wasn't quite ready.
I've been acclimated to this.
Yeah, wasn't quite ready. But just your time with Noel, and does he bring the kind of levity to a quarterback room that you want, because it is somewhat of a pressure-packed position?
Yeah, he's a great coach. He knows how to make things fun while also holding you accountable for your decisions and your actions and your performance on the field. I'm lucky to have met him and to be able to work directly underneath him and learn from him. He's been doing it a long time. But yeah, talking about him and then talking about a guy like Rich Rod, they're very different. It can be very successful either way, and it's nice to see a different perspective on how he keeps the room light and fresh and just having fun.
Rich Rod, kind of a serious demeanor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to say the least, yes. Yes.
What angers Noel Mazzoni? When does he get fiery with you guys, Connor?
I mean, to be honest, it's just out of nowhere sometimes. It's just out of nowhere.
See it
That's
coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes he'll just lay it on, and, it's just one of those days where we're like, all right, well, we're just going to sit here and, take notes and say, yes, sir.
All right.
And other days, there's times to crack jokes and call him old man and things like that. But but you gotta make sure you gotta dip your toe in the water first. Test. See how it is. Test the waters.
Yeah. So you got to be on your toes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. You got to be ready. One thing we were talking to Connor about last week when he brought Trevor and Jake on the show is bowl games. You see the question out there so often is who's motivated. Teams are coming off whatever season they just had. Some teams can try to complete a great season. Some teams are maybe just trying to salvage something. But a question of motivation always, there's always that question for a team going into a bowl game. And then I'll add this to it. We saw some things in the news recently that Christian McCaffrey at Stanford won't play in his bowl game. That's his decision. Leonard Fournette will do the same with LSU in their Citrus Bowl game, and obviously his decision. But you guys are dealing with a young man in Myles Garrett that your teammate, you're a staff member that he plays for, and he may be on the other side of the ball, but you're both obviously very close to him. And he made the statement, that he's going to play. And I'm not criticizing anybody for their decision. Myles' decision was his decision, and he decided he's going to play. Just your thoughts first, Connor, on Myles as a teammate, knowing what could be ahead of him after this game and making this decision in the face of what's going on right now, the landscape as we see it right now.
I mean, it's just a testament to who Myles is as a person and as a teammate. Whether it was the Tennessee game, and, I think it was after the Tennessee game when they asked if his ankle was bothering him, and he said, well, not enough to quit on my teammates. And that's just the kind of guy that Myles is, and he's a competitor. And, it's nothing against, Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette. They have their reasons for making decisions, but, I think we all were fully on board with whatever Myles decided to do, but I don't think there was any slight even doubt in our minds that Myles wasn't going to play, just because he is such a competitor and he's such a leader for this team that he truly is going to cherish, if this is his last game here, the opportunity to put on the maroon and white one more time.
And BJ is a former player. You know what teammates are like. And again, I'm not close to the Stanford program. I'm not close to the LSU program, so I don't have the right to make a comment on what Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette did. But we're close to Myles. And just your thoughts on him as a former player, the kind of teammate he is to Connor and these guys.
Yeah, he's been unselfish this whole year. If you look at it, he knows what kind of draft stock he's had since the beginning of this year, and to play through injuries, and an ankle injury and a lower extremity injury that's hard to play with at his position, to fight through it every week and give everything he's got. That shows you what kind of person he is. So I think, to him go through that part of the season, I don't think there's any question that he was going to miss this bowl game. Now, the Leonard Fournette thing, I think it's a little different because he's injured. Christian McCaffrey, that was a personal decision. But I think these players, whatever they do decide, if they have the support from their teammates and their coaches, then they need to make whatever decision's right for them, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah, certainly so. And now you have to do it in the face of all the scrutiny in the world, even as a college football player. Times have changed a little bit,
I would like to alert the viewers, though, that I will be playing in the bowl game.
That's right.
I will not be sitting this one out.
That's right.
So
and that is appreciated.
If there were any concerns or anything like that, I just want to let y'all know, 100% all in for the Texas Bowl.
That's a teammate right there, isn't it?
Aggie Nation breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's right. I like it. We will have the services of Myles Garrett and Connor McQueen in the Texas Bowl.
That's true.
That will help. But another guy that you're both close to, that you've seen all year, Trevor Knight. And it was a 1-year thing for Trevor, but there's got to be a little emotion in seeing him play his last game in the maroon and white.
Definitely. He's come a long way since he's been here. Not even a full year he's been here in College Station. So to see him grow from when he first got here, when our first meeting with him and Coach Mazzoni and I, to see him now, just from a student athlete perspective, on the board, in the X's and O's, and then on the field, it's been a big leap and a big journey for him, and I'm proud of him, and I can't wait to see how he goes out with a bang.
Did you guys shared some high school memories back last week's show, and Trevor rubbed it in on Boone pretty good about how he had 8 rushes in a high school game against Boone, and they never tackled him.
No.
First of all, have you guys hit Boone up about that again since the show?
No.
And also an update on Boone, because I know he was going to undergo some surgery.
Boone's doing well. Surgery went very well. He's doing starting his rehab and his recovery right now. It's tough for the first couple of weeks because you can't really move around very well, but he's in good spirits. And so we have not mentioned
after surgery, you're going to leave.
You can't kick him.
So we have not mentioned the shots taken on the Churchill Chargers last week on the red zone. So, maybe once he gets off his crutches, then we'll kick him.
I thought, in the conversations where you're wishing him well, he may just as teammates, you may throw a little jab in there every now and then.
I think Boone gets it enough from his friends, so I'll stay away from that.
Meaning Connor?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would never.
Past roommate, God, you gotta edge him a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Did you tweet the other day about Boone's love for chips and salsa?
Yes.
Was that you that tweeted that?
That was actually
like 40 photos.
That was a tweet from actually our freshman year at when we were living together at Reveille Ranch, and we just kind of gotten to know each other, and that was because we were just it was our first semester in college and everything for the fall semester, so I wasn't comfortable enough doing that in the fall. So those were all compiled in the spring semester of our freshman year, and now you can go back and just Twitter has the feature where you can retweet your own tweets, and I went back because I remembered Boone and I were talking about it, and I remembered it. I was like, that'd be funny if I just brought that back out, just brought that out of the closet, and so it was just kind of funny seeing all the pictures of freshman year Boone, and there's I think 16 of them of him eating chips and salsa.
Everywhere.
It was hilarious.
It was like a collage that you just put, and it's all just Boone.
It was hard. It was hard work. That's real investigative journalism right there to get those pictures.
You did scrolling.
Yeah,
it's a lot of scrolling.
That was a lot of investigation too. I mean, that's a lot of photos.
It takes some things take work.
It's good stuff.
Got to be willing to put in the man hours.
Connor McQueen, BJ Denker with us on the Red Zone here as we get ready for the Texas Bowl. And here's one thing I wanted to ask you. The Texas Bowl, every time you go to a bowl game, they've got their events, and there's some staples to some bowl games. Well, back in 2001, I went to this bowl with A&M when they played TCU. This event was already involved in the Texas Bowl. Then in 2011, A&M went back to the Texas Bowl to play Northwestern. I didn't get to attend this bowl event the second time around. I would like to try to get to it the third time now that the Aggies are getting ready to play Kansas State. The Texas Bowl puts on what they call the Rodeo Bowl. Now, there will be, I believe, some calf roping involved in this among the players.
This I have heard this.
Have you seen?
Yes.
Yeah, so you need to set the tone for the week by winning this.
Right.
Who are some good prime candidates for Texas A&M to send out? I think maybe 4 of you guys will do this. Now, I can't remember the exact number. But let's say 4 guys got to go out there in the Rodeo Bowl, set the tone and get a win over Kansas State, and get some calf roping done.
Right.
Who are some quality candidates to step up for the Aggies?
I know who I'm not picking. It's the kid from Arizona and the kid from Hawaii. That's definitely what's not going on.
So Tabuyo's out. Christian Kirk is out.
I'm thinking we need to stick
Priest Willis from Arizona. Let's knock him out.
Some East Texas stuff.
Right off the bat, it hurt us earlier in the year whenever Connor Lanphier went down.
He would have been good.
And it's also going to hurt.
It's
going to hurt us again because I know for a fact he is the best roper on the team.
Yeah, see. All right.
It's disappointing.
Maybe he can coach a little.
Right.
Obviously can't be too active with his injury, but he can coach a little.
I know that I think it's either in Connor Lanphier's or Chad Lloyd's backyard. They actually have I don't even know what to call it, but to practice roping. Something in which you practice roping on. Anyway, so they have lineman dinner sometimes over there, and they'll go hang out on the weekends, and they'll just, shoot their bow and arrows and go roping. So
Okay.
I know Chad Lloyds is pretty good at it. Braden Talbert from Montgomery,
All right.
he's done some roping. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay. But you're from L.A. and
yes.
Arizona, so you wouldn't be involved in
No,
this.
no chance.
Yeah,
No.
Well, a Houston kid. You're from Texas, but
Right.
Houston's maybe a little too city to go cast.
Yeah, I'm from the suburbs of Houston, but
Klein area. They
still
didn't
not
do
too far out there.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe Eric McCoy, some Lufkin, some East Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See
Who
Jamal
is-
out there with the lasso.
There we go.
I'm trying to think. If we don't have like
Ratley is a big country boy.
I think
Damian Ratley?
I would
Damian Ratley.
assume Ratley will probably be in the competition.
Did you play? You played with Dustin Harris back in the day.
Mhm.
That's a cowboy.
Yes,
Right there.
that is.
Yeah,
He
he's
is a
from
cowboy.
Livingston, Texas,
Yes.
East Texas. He
Okay.
and he was on ranches all his life.
Yep.
Can we maybe get an alumni participant? We can call Dustin Harris.
goodness.
Yeah.
Maybe get him back here. We were going to go for a feature on Coach Sumlin's TV show. His first year here, we were going to literally go deer hunting with
Wow.
Dustin Harris one morning
Mhm.
during the football season. He actually turned his ankle the night before in practice,
Ooh.
had to go to treatment the next day. That canceled the deer
Yeah.
hunt. So I think if he would have been a prime candidate.
Yeah.
I don't know if he participated the last time the Aggies were in this bowl because I think he would have been on the team.
Right.
In
Yeah, I
2009.
think he was
definitely
here.
would have. So that would have been a good one. But yeah, I do. I'm with you, and I agree. At the very least, let's get Connor Lanfear as the head coach at the Rodeo Bowl.
course.
Yes.
And he can just guide the Aggies
Yeah.
to
I
victory
think so.
right there. All right. So we got that set. We'll set the tone against Kansas State on the night of the 28th. Good luck to both of you. Thanks for the time, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
you.